World is very weird at the moment. A seemingly pleasant young lady won the Italian election on Sunday, and immediately the Western media got stuck in on the old Mussolini-Hitler comparisons.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of Mussolini's historic march on Rome, plunging the country into 2 decades of dictatorship, an alliance with Hitler, and a Second World War. Today, his fascist party is gone, but many say she is carrying the torch.
Aha. Gotcha. So that's the new Hitler, even though she hasn't got a mustache. Not even a faint whisper of one that might benefit from a touch of Imac. But notwithstanding her lack of facial hirsuteness, 10,000 miles from Giorgia Meloni's upper lip, Australian homosexuals are fleeing in terror. Headline from the #1 newspaper in Perth, the West Australian. Election of far-right Italian government prompts warnings for LGBT QWERTY community to rethink travel plans. Wait a minute, this is Australia. For most of the last 2.5 years, it's been illegal for Australians to have any travel plans. In Melbourne, you were forbidden to travel more than 3 miles from your home. In Adelaide, you and your baby were forbidden to travel to Sydney for life-saving heart surgery not available in your own state. So you had to rethink your travel plans and your kid had to die. At least 4 of them did. And nationwide, if you were minded to fly to Italy for a homophobic holiday, you couldn't, because no one, Australian or otherwise, could get in or out. And if the government did occasionally give permission for a foreigner to enter, as they did with the tennis player Novak Djokovic, it was only so they could arrest him and then kick him out again, to teach him a lesson. And have him make a 20,000-mile round trip for nothing. Australia only restored freedom of movement, 20 minutes ago, and they're already itching to restrict it again. Italy, in this case, is like a Sydney children's hospital, and all these LGBT QWERTY blokes are like newborn infants who shouldn't be going there. We're going to discuss Giorgia Meloni with our favourite Australian, Alexandra Marshall, a little later, but I make the point only to emphasise that nothing the distaff Mussolini has done is anywhere near as weird or totalitarian as the stuff all the nice, respectable people say and do every day of the week now. It's Australia and Canada that restrain freedom of movement, not the new Hitler. It's YouTube that abolishes freedom of speech, not Giorgia Meloni. On yesterday's show, Eva Vlaardingerbroek mentioned these remarks from Signora Meloni.
C'è quella che ci facciamo oggi, perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura?
Yeah, why is the family so frightening? I can't say I'm a woman, I can't say I'm a mother, I can't say I'm an Italian, I can't say I'm a Christian. This video proved very popular on YouTube, so popular that YouTube then removed it for, quote, violating its community guidelines. So just in case you're having difficulty keeping score here, Giorgia Meloni is the fascist, but being opposed to freedom of speech is perfectly respectable. Oh, and the nice, normal types are only just warming up here. We need to end 12,000 years of agriculture and get everyone eating insects. Perfectly routine. What's the big deal? As they say on The Simpsons, don't have a cow about it, have a cockroach instead. And we need to abolish the internal combustion engine, the principal method of individual human travel for the last century. We need to get rid of it by the year 2030. Let me see, 2030, that's 8 years' time. Yeah, what's your point? It's all part of the so-called Great Reset. If you go on about the Great Reset on Facebook or Twitter, you'll get labelled as fake news. So don't take my word for it. Here, after a warm-up from that nice, harmless Klaus Schwab fellow, is the new head honcho.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
His Majesty the King. By the way, when he says that each and every one of us has a vital role to play, your vital role is working less, earning less, driving less, eating less, heating less. Mark Morano is the author of a new book called The Great Reset, and we're going to get into all that momentarily with him. How weird are these times? So weird that we have statistically undeniable excess mortality. That means a huge mountain of extra corpses in Australia and New Zealand, in North America, in Europe, and yes, in the United Kingdom. Who's dying? The middle-aged, in the prime of life. Young persons taking their first steps on what should have been the long road of adulthood. And most tragically of all, large numbers of adolescents whose journey had yet to begin. You'd almost get the impression that for many people, the vital role each and every one of us has to play, as His Majesty says, is apparently to drop dead. But that's not the weird part. The really weird part is that huge numbers of dead people is about as basic as it gets, and yet no one in the media talks about it.